Good morning, squishy humans. What we have today is a bit of a treat, actually. We've got Leanne from Grogu's Patch. Don't look like a little alien, but hey, close enough. So basically, Leanne, I'm here to insult you and hopefully trade barbs. So welcome.
Thank you.
That's all right. Yes,
It'll be a change. Like you can't be nice to me because that would be too much of a shock, really.
Well, that's right. You've got 8 minutes to impress me. I'm going to throw you off the show and do the rest by myself.
Good on you.
Yeah. So basically, Leanne reached out after I put a request out for the most insignificant reseller that I've got access to. I've actually hit the jackpot. I don't know where to go from here. You are the most insignificant reseller that we have.
Well, there you go. And the oldest, probably.
Well, that's exactly right. That's why I thought I'd get in early, because in case you fall off your perch.
Well, I could very well any day now. Any day.
That's right. So how's the nursing home? I forgot to ask.
Oh, yes. Very good. Although they could improve the food a little bit, I think.
I just need to give you some more medicine just to make the food taste better.
Yes, well, there are times when you feel a bit spacey.
So, Leanne, I've got some questions for you. So basically, I've been following you for about 6 months. I think we first met on Wayno's channel, probably late last year, I think it was. So basically, tell me a bit about your journey so far.
Well, I started eBay in February last year. So I haven't actually been doing it for very long. And it was really necessity because I just stopped being a carer for my mum. She was 92 and passed away, but she'd been living with me for about 15 years. And, we had COVID, and then it was like, find a job. And I've got really bad back issues and I'm waiting for back surgery. So what can I do? And so to get out of a bit of financial, strife, I thought, well, I'll just start selling a few things around the house, which is where it started. And that went really well. And then I thought, wow, this is a really good thing, So I actually had $17 on me, and I went down to the local op shop, and things down there were like $1, $1.50. Bought a heap of stuff, came home, put it up on eBay, and I've just been growing from there and, realised the possibilities that you can get from being an eBay reseller.
That's good. So what were you doing before you was looking after your mum full time?
So I've had a few different jobs, but I was working in insurance immediately prior to that. I've worked in pubs. I've worked in insurance. I worked for a private detective for a few years in Melbourne in my younger days. I've done quite a few things.
Okay. So the detective work sounds interesting. Was it Dick Tracy by chance? I don't think a lot of these younger viewers probably won't know who Dick Tracy is.
No, they probably don't. No, look, it wasn't as exciting as it sounds. It sounds good, but it wasn't as exciting as it sounds because you do a lot of process serving, which is serving people with summonses. So, I didn't do that. I was working in the office, and the guy I worked for was like, he had to be close to 90, let me tell you, back then. But yeah, it was good. That was my first job after leaving high school.
No, okay. That sounds pretty interesting. I'll wake up now. Hang on. Where am I? So when you said in the op shop, so what basically got you? Yeah, when you said you just started going around on eBay, did you watch any YouTube videos or did you just launch yourself into it? What launched your platform from there?
No, heaps. Before I went down, and really got into it, I watched every conceivable YouTube video I could find. The trouble is when you first start searching, you're finding all the American ones. That's what comes up in the search. And, the idea overall is okay, but it's not relevant to us in Australia. And then the first one I came across was Judder in, Diary of a Flipper. And I started watching his first video and I thought, oh, bloody hell, I can't watch this. That language is terrible.
That's right.
And
let me assure you, he's worse in person.
Oh yeah, well I've gotten a bit used to it now, and I kind of couldn't get through the first one, and then when I couldn't find many more Australian ones, I went back and started watching him again, and now I've gotten quite used to his language,
Yeah,
so
bit of rubbed off probably.
Yeah, just old age, you see.
Did you see he's running his own mentorship program at the moment?
Oh, is he just?
Yeah. He's like in his comments, he's running some kind of scam. So Good on him. Good on him.
Yeah, good on him. Yes.
Yeah, each of their own. But yeah, no, it's good. No, yeah, I'm the same. I kind of parachuted when I crawled out of the ocean. I found a lot of the American YouTubers, but
Yeah.
I'm quite partial to them because I think a lot of the things flow onto us. Yeah, so I quite enjoy them. Just the breadth of all the things that they sell and all those different things as well. But is there any other Australian YouTubers you follow or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, I follow quite a few. I follow 2 Aussie thrifters. I think they do really good content, and I'm loving what they're doing with the DVD store. It's a whole new angle. And Chris Furlong, of course. And I was watching Uncle Wayno, who he hasn't been on for a while, but I do watch him when he's on.
I think he's dead.
He's not dead. I'm sure we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah, you heard it here first. He's dead.
Oh,
He's got missing
dear.
in action.
R.I.P. Uncle Wayno. Dear me.
That's right.
Yeah, so look, most of them I watch. I really like The Gathered House. I think Bianca does a great job. She's funny as. Very entertaining. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, they have a competitive edge when they're able to go out. It's a bit hard for an octopus to go filming outside, get chased by the mob.
Do you slither?
I slither around.
You get up on your tentacles like a cat?
No, it depends what mood I'm in. Yeah, I try and slither around just to go unrecognized, and all these op shop nens are always stepping on me, tentacles, and you can't go anywhere. Yeah, when I do go up in full form.
You'd have a bit of trouble in some of the op shops too, wouldn't you? Because I know the one here, like the aisles aren't very wide, so you'd have a bit of trouble getting through.
Yeah, they always get mad at me if I start sliming over all the tentacles, all the over the clothing.
Oh, maybe you've been in a couple of the op shops I've been to because the clothes are a bit yucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So, how do you find your op shops? What are they like there? Because you're down in Victoria, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in central Victoria. I'm way out, in the bush, be 4-hour drive from Melbourne. So where I live, there used to be 2 op shops, one closed down. And so now there's only one. And then most of the towns around me, which are like a 20 to 30 minute drive, will have 1 or 2. Sanana, which is one of the ones, it has 3. And so it's one of my regulars. I go there every couple of weeks. And then on the alternate week, I go to one of the other towns and raid their op shops. And then occasionally I'll get over to Horsham, which is like a bigger place an hour away, or Bendigo, Ballarat sometimes if I have to go there for something else, because that's like 2.5 hours away. So, yeah, I just make the most of it. If I have to be somewhere else, I usually try to fit in, get into a op shop.
So if you're quite limited in that respect, how do you source your products? Is the op shop quite fruitful where you are? And like you said, you've got a 20-minute drive.
Yeah, look, they are. I mean, I do have that 20-minute drive, but they are fruitful, and it depends what you're looking for. Like some of the things that I would like to keep selling, I'm not selling anymore because I can't get enough. Like vintage leather handbags I love doing, and they're good. You get good money for them, but I can't get enough to be regular and have consistent listings on eBay. But things like clothing, jeans, books, that sort of thing, like, there is a regular supply and cheap, like compared to what you're paying in the bigger places, they're cheap. I went to Witcherproof last week, and so everything in there was $3.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, you come home with stuff that's, I got Levi jeans, I got some pure wool coats, $3 each.
That sounds excruciatingly boring.
Yeah.
I hate clothes. Clothes are the bane of my existence. I prefer not to wear them.
Yeah, well, I bet you do. Yeah, you'd need a few armholes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but the op shops don't let me in if I don't wear clothes, so it makes it a bit awkward.
I'd imagine you would. I would prefer to just do books personally. Like that's maybe books and VHS would be my 2 sort of key areas that I'd like to do, but I can't source enough just with those things, and that's why I've got clothing as well.
And what kind of books do you sell? Like, if idealistically you could just get books, what would be your niches?
So vintage mainly.
Okay.
Yep. So I buy all the old books, really old looking books that people think are crap, and amazing what you can get out of them. A lot of, if I can, as much sci-fi, vintage sci-fi. is really, really good. And, your old hardcovers with the dust jackets and things, fantastic. I picked up one of the books I picked up over in Widget Proof the other day, which I paid $1 for it. I've got it listed for $199.
That's ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you know that Back to Burnout or Back from Burnout, or whatever that lady's name is? Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we can just break into her warehouse and just steal as many books as you like.
Well, I could, because she actually doesn't like doing the old books, you see.
Yeah.
So she probably wouldn't even miss them. They'd be in some of those boxes she's got up the back at the moment.
We need to think how to break in.
Yeah. I just have to get to Canberra. That's the only thing.
No, I've driven her out of Canberra. This place is only big enough for one octopus.
Yeah, she's not that far out, though.
No, but we could still, break into a warehouse and steal all the books for you.
Well, yeah, that'd be good.
Seeing some of the piles that she's got on Instagram, she wouldn't notice them missing.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And because she doesn't really like all that much doing the old books, like, she probably wouldn't worry about missing them.
No. Just pretend, stand really still. She might think you're a vintage book yourself.
Well, she could do too.
That's right. Yeah. Damn old people. You can't tell the difference between smelling them and the old books.
Oh, get a grip. And I put on my favourite perfume for you this morning too, trying to be nice.
I know. Lucky I don't have a nose because it'd be burning me.
Well, it would be. I'll tell you what, the old lilac. Nice.
Oh, yes. I thought you'd be more of a red door lady myself. That's excellent. Because that was one of my biggest questions, to see how you would actually source down there. Because obviously you have to kind of have a return on investment with the amount of petrol you'd be burning.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why when I go, I only go once a week. So when I go, I come home. I won't say a car full, but generally the boot will be full and half the back seat will be full. Like, I try to make the most of it. So I do a big, I make sure when I go I get enough for the week.
Yeah. And do you have a listing goal that you're trying to achieve every day, or? Yeah,
I was doing about 20 a day. In March, I did 30 a day. I set myself a challenge, and that was really good, but it was a bit too much. Like, it was a bit of a struggle. So I'd like to do 30 a day, but it depends on how organised I am. And if I've done a big haul and that has to get sorted, I may not make that. So my current goal at the moment is 15, which will be generally half books and then half clothing.
And do you have a how do you humans put it? Do you have a specific requirement as to what you actually pick up, or do you pick up anything?
Oh, who's vacuuming?
That's how we evacuate the minions that aren't doing their job anymore. So just disregard that.
Suck them up the vacuum cleaner.
If the police are watching, that wasn't someone that just fell through the floor into a fire pit.
Good on you. I kind of have a gauge of what I do. Sell a lot of vintage clothes. So yeah, that's pretty good. And there's a lot of vintage clothes that I'm able to pick up around here. And it's easy for me because of my age, of course. It's easy for me to recognize the stuff from the 70s, 80s, and 90s because that's what I wore. So it's probably easier for me to get that stuff than it is for some of you younger people because I can just see it and grab it.
Speak for yourself. I'm 109, thank you.
Yeah. I didn't think octopuses could live that long, could they?
These ones can. The more evil you are, the longer you live.
Right. Don't their brains start to shrink after a while, though?
We've got 9 brains, so got spares.
What, you got one in the end of each tentacle?
We do indeed. I'm surprised you know. You've been keeping up on your octopus anatomy. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Well, you've got to know something about your enemies, haven't you?
Oh, that's right. You're smarter than you look, so I'll give you that.
I am very smart. Yes. Never underestimate me. I can tell you that much.
That's right. You can't move very fast, but don't underestimate you.
That's exactly right. Many a man has underestimated me for one reason or another in the past and has come unstuck big time.
No, have they really?
Mm-hmm.
That's something you'll have to tell someone else because I don't care.
Yeah, good on you.
But I suppose what I was asking though is, do you have, when you have your penchant for vintage and your older books and all those different things, do you have a minimum price you'll sell at? So you won't pick up anything for $1 to sell for $5, or is that your business?
Oh yeah, no. So my aim generally is to have something that I can sell for 30. minimum I would go is if I can sell it for 20 plus post. But generally I try to aim for that 30, including the postage. And if I can get something that's better than that, that's good. Because it's too much hard work. I know you can sell a lot of stuff. I did start listing some single books there at one stage, thinking, there's all these sellers on eBay doing books and they're only making a couple of dollars, but they're probably selling lots and lots and lots of those books. So I was thinking, maybe I should try that. But like it's so much work for no return.
That's right. Yeah. So, and even like I used to do that. I actually I used to come to that model where you would list anything. I would list, video games for $9, I suppose, and free postage. And you're constantly doing it. Then you have 40 or 50 parcels going out on a Monday, and they'll be very low cost items, and you're spending an hour or 2 hours prepping and packaging for postage.
Oh,
so
absolutely. Yeah. And of course, then once if you're doing like books and DVDs at that price, it's very hard to sell them if you're not doing the free post thing, which means sending them untracked. And I have a bit of an issue with sending them untracked because I've done it a couple of times, sold a couple of things untracked, and both times I've come unstuck. So, I do sell actually quite a few DVDs to Western Australia, funnily enough. And I do mine as a tracked model, and I have that on the title that it's tracked, and that seems to people over there that like to know that things are going to arrive seem to buy off me.
Yeah, and I suppose that my next question, right? So I've always worried about the tracked model process, for something for a $9 DVD or something along lines of that. So how do you actually do it? I'm sure you've covered it in your videos, but I haven't interested in watching them.
Yeah, I'll just grab an envelope, because if I do it tracked, a DVD or a small book, I'll put them in one of these.
So do you put any protected, like, packaging material in there as well, or you just put your DVDs?
DVDs, I've only been selling sealed DVDs, so they've already got some plastic around them, so those I don't. If it's a used, which I don't sell a lot of used at the moment, DVDs, depending on the case. If the case is firm enough, I don't. I just pop it in there. But with the books, I actually make with some very thin cardboard, I make a protector to go around them and just pop them in. And as long as they're still not overweight or oversized, they're fine with that. And it just gives them a bit of protection, because the thing is, a lot of the books I'm doing are pretty old, and some of them aren't in the greatest condition anyway, and I want them to get to the person I've sold them to in the same condition that they've left here.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So basically, the reason why I asked for it is I actually had a DVD arrive the other day that was in one of those tracked envelopes.
Yep.
All cracked at the top.
Oh no. Yeah.
So that's why I don't use them. I think I prefer to use something like a black padded mailer.
Yeah.
Just put it in there. So I think we've spoke before. My model is anything under $20 will go untracked. Out of 100 items, I'll probably lose maybe one or two. When you lose. So basically, with the savings of postage, because I think you pay about $5.50 for those green tracked envelopes.
So if you buy them singly, they're $5.30. But if you buy them, you don't make much saving buying them in bulk, because they're $5.10. You can't sort of make a lot of money on them, but yeah.
So in contrast, I spend about $3 for postage, including the stamps and including that packaging. I've never had an issue in regards to broken items arriving. And also, like I said, that if I send 100 items and 2 don't arrive, I'm probably out $22. So it's not a big deal, and everything works out in the wash after that. But it's just like, I think eventually eBay is pushing us to go to that tracked model. It will come to that point, but as to low cost items, I'm flushing a lot of them out of the store at the moment. I think eBay's been giving me a bit of a smack around the head over that, because I culled 1,000 listings in the last 2 weeks.
Wow, that's a lot.
Do not recommend. Please do not do
that. Wow. So, and that's what I found. Like I'm not that I've culled them out of my store, but I'm not adding those into my store, because I'd rather do a book bundle and sell 4 books together that I can, I can make a decent amount of money off, and yeah, it's not all that work.
That's right. So basically, what I've been doing over here, where am I? Oop, my tentacles. They got a mind of their own. Got a mind of their own. So these things here aren't my dirty dishes. They're Skylanders, right? So there's Toy to
Okay.
Life, and that's my
Yep.
little photo station there. So it's not as elaborate as yours I've seen in your videos. So what I've done, those 1,000 listings were previously I was listing the Skylanders individually,
Yep.
but what I've done in the last, and I've got thousands of them. What I've done in the last month and a half is actually consolidated them into a one listing with a drop down variation. So that's culled
Okay.
out lots and lots and lots of listings. And
Yep.
eBay has literally smacked me with a shovel. My sales in the
Wow.
last month about 40% down month on month. So
Wow, that's a big, yeah.
yes.
I was going to say jump. It's not a jump, is it? But
No,
yeah.
no, no. Especially when you try and take over the world, it hurts a little bit. Yeah,
Mm.
so we have to do the no frills world domination style this month.
Because I don't think I've ever picked up a Skylanders. I mean, I could. I've got a big bucket of figures because I'm forever ever picking them up. But yeah, maybe there is one in there, and I don't know what it is. But yeah,
So long story short, Skylanders, yeah, they're like VHS and DVDs, right? So 99% of them are trash. You know, like
yeah,
you don't do that. So that variation listing that came out. That was born from necessity. So what I normally do is I used to do like I do a $9.99 postage cap for Skylanders. So if you buy one, it's $10, or if you
yep,
buy 100, it's $10. So yeah, you can basically
yeah,
buy as many as you want. When I had them as individual listings, if you wanted to buy them, I couldn't work out how to. And this is stupid because I've been on eBay for the last 15 years, so I couldn't work out how to bypass the excess postage. So every time someone put one in their
right,
cart, it would charge them an extra $10. So I was losing
yeah,
sales like that, or I was constantly refunding people money and all these different things. So with the variation listing, they could just add all the ones to the cart and flush it out for $10.
yeah, true.
Yeah. So
Well, you obviously haven't watched enough of my videos to know how to fix your postage, do you?
yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe one day I'll have Wayno watch it for me and give me the
Mm.
notes.
Yeah.
Mm. So I suppose, do you have a reseller network, or what do you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I put. Oh, hang on, what's that? Oh,
Oh,
see,
look,
I'm always
yeah,
putting my rollers in, and
yeah. I didn't think
there's
wigs
one.
need them.
Forget to take them out. Look,
Yeah, I didn't think wigs need them.
crikey. Had to set my hair this morning to make it all look nice for you.
Yeah, that's right. So you should. I did
Yeah,
mine as well. I gelled it up.
yeah. A lot of my spare time's taken up with family, and I've got 3 kids that are all grown, and I've got 4 grandkids, so they're a lot of fun. What else do I do? Yeah, chat with a few people, that resell too, because that's, a really good networking tool. I'm in Chris Furlong's championship mentorship group, which has been great. And it's the best thing I've found for it is just that ability to have that networking with other people. So that's been really, really good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I haven't really looked into paid memberships that much, because what's he normally do? He charges a couple of dollars a month for a Facebook group. Is that what it is, or?
Yeah, well, it's not a Facebook group. So we do a Zoom call once a month. So you get that face-to-face thing, but then we've got the Facebook Messenger group, and so we can just chat back and forth. And if you've got a query, something you don't know about, you can just post it, and someone will answer you, and that sort of thing. And for me, it's been worth it just for that, to have that. But I did it mainly so I had somewhere that I could make myself accountable. A group that I can make myself accountable to, and that's really worked. And Chris's knowledge is huge. Like, he's got depths of knowledge about all sorts of things to do with eBay.
He doesn't. I was going to say, he's quite a busy man, that Chris. He doesn't have enough time for a haircut, though.
No, he doesn't have enough time for a haircut. Yeah,
I know.
he nearly needs to put it in a ponytail, I think.
That's what I joined his championship group for. I thought it was funding his haircut, not joining a Facebook group.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get it cut. I thought he might have done. He could do shave for a cure or something like that. But yeah, raise a lot of money.
He does a bit of charity work as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. So he does. What's it called? Backpack for Vic Kids or Vic Kids backpack or
Oh,
whichever way
backpack
it
for
goes.
kids or something.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah. That
excellent
sounds like a pretty good
charity.
trade off though. I got a couple of kids in the street that I could probably trade in for a backpack.
You reckon?
Yeah, might
Yeah.
waddle down the street. Yeah, if
No.
he's handing out backpacks, I want to know what's in them.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you could sneak a little octopus in them, whichever way it is. You know, you need some little mini ones that you could
Well,
stick
that's
in
right.
there.
Well, that's right. Yeah, there's nothing stopping teaching young kids the importance of world domination.
Well, this is very true. Get them started early.
That's right.
You
Brainwash
never
them
know.
and off they go. Yeah, I never
Yep.
thought of that. You might be onto something there.
Yep, I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm very wise.
I wouldn't say that, but we'll move on. So obviously we've given Chris Furlong enough lip service. So this commercial's not sponsored by him so far, but however, if you reach out, we'll tee something up. So I suppose I don't know. Like I've got a couple of questions from Instagram, but I think Judder was a bit confused. He wants to know the worst place where you got your tentacles stuck.
Well, I think that's for you.
I don't know. Well, I asked him for clarification. I was like, well, I could tell you, but you don't want to know. But he said, no, it's for Grogs.
Yeah, no, I probably can't say that in public.
No, that's good then. I don't want images in my head that I can't burn out with acid. Forrest finds, I've got one here. So he's basically saying, are you single? I'm a bit worried by this one. So
oh yeah, I'm single. I've been divorced for quite a long time, since the year 2000, I think. So
okay. So I think Christian's in the Melbourne area as well. So maybe I don't know. I just thought he had a new kid, but basically I don't know. Maybe older people tickles his fancies.
Oh yeah, there are some young people that are attracted to older people, you know.
Yeah, well, I haven't found any, but hey, look, if Christian flows that way, good on him.
He is a bit like, I mean, he has lots of plush, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Hey, look, like I said, there's nothing wrong with plush. Christian helped me out with one of my little octopuses. I can't even find my tentacle. Here we go. Oh, like I said, I need a bit of Botox. I'm getting a bit floppy. That yellow one up there.
Oh yes.
He was able to help me out with that one, which is good.
Oh, very good. Good.
See, based on a manga, based on anime, so it's good. That's right up his alley.
Yeah. Right.
So, and I got one here from Josh G Reselling.
Oh,
he's basically saying, does Grogs know does Leanne know who the octopus is?
Yes, well, he was on at me. He said that I should find out, and I said, well, that would kind of, defeat all the fun.
That's right. I think he's a bit needy. I've seen him in the group chats. Not the group chats. Chris's live, I think.
Yep.
I'll tell you what. There's a lot of driftwood that floats into that live.
He seems a very nice young man.
Who? Chris?
Josh.
I don't know. So next, I don't know.
He told
me
he's a big fan. I've got to like him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He sounds too needy. What do you got? I'm ready out of things.
What have I got? So what are your main niches on eBay? You tell me.
I really don't have any. I'm a bit of an everything seller, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of trying to streamline into different things. I'm quite big on manga, and last time I checked, I think I'm the number one seller in Australia for manga. I don't know how that works, but that's pretty much how it is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and also a bit of Skylanders and Toy for Life, but like I normally gravitate to things that can actually churn quite a profit.
Yeah.
So the reason why I asked you earlier is I normally look at things that can at least generate $20 to $30 profit per an item. If I'm not getting that, I'm not interested. So previously, like I said earlier, I did list everything, from probably $9.99 all the way up. But now, if it's not going to profit $20 to $30 after fees and postage and that, I'm not interested. So
yeah. I mean, there's kind of a bit of an allure, isn't there, to listing the things singly, in that you're getting lots and lots of listings up. Because quite often, if you've got a set of books, say, and you're listing each one singly, like you can get them up so quick. By doing a sell similar, but the profit's not there, and then it's all very well. That takes time to do all the listing, but then and taking the photos, but the work in packaging them up and all that sort of stuff, and for nothing. basically.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, I'm a big advocate, and this is, Chris and I have spoken previously about this. When you're starting your store, you're better off, selling those low cost items just to build your feedback up.
Yeah.
But you need to progress past that. So, you need to get to a point where you either find a niche or you find a supplier that can obviously constantly give you a product. Then that's when you start building it from there. Because, like I said, with the Skylander, look, I'll probably knock out about 150 to 200 of those an hour. But if you're doing everything, you're spending 4 or 5 minutes researching, listing, photographing, and all those different things. So,
yeah, and that's what I sold a bit of everything to start with, which in some ways you kind of have to when you first start because you don't know what you want to sell. And so, look, I was selling a lot of vintage and antique ceramic plates and cups and stuff like that until I had one really big weekend and I had to do 36 parcels. And then I had 2 left at the end, and they were 2 really big ceramic items that needed to be double boxed. And I just went, that's it. I'm never doing that again. And next day I took them all anything like that. I took it off eBay.
And I've done that previously as well. You've got the allure of something that looks really good. But I've done the same. There was something I can't even remember now that I listed, but there was, it spent me 15, 20 minutes boxing the bloody thing.
Yep.
Then I just I dropped it off at the op shop. But
there's that thing where you can see the big brown vase up the top behind me on whichever side on that side. Like, that's worth $150 and I paid $2 for it. It's West German pottery. Like, you can pick stuff up like that cheap and that's fine, but it can break. And that's my biggest thing. I do not like selling anything now that breaks. I haven't had anything arrive broken, but there is that risk. And, that's $150 that you've then got to refund because you haven't packaged it properly. And, whereas I can, get a pair of vintage Fabergé jeans or something and sell them for, $80, $90, and they're not going to break on the way.
No, that's right. Yeah, the thing I was thinking of was Jim Shaw, those little figure-end statue things. Have you seen those?
Yep.
Yeah, so basically I got a whole bulk lot down here for about $100. I think it was about 20 pieces. And there was one of them, it was like a gigantic castle. It was this display piece for the princesses. I sold it to Germany for $800. So I paid, $5 to it? $800 to Germany. And this thing literally took me 2 hours to package because I had to put that much bubble wrap. It arrived safely, but they're kind of like a plaster kind of, figurine. Never again.
Wow.
Yeah. So unless they're brand new in their box with the foam already around them, I won't even touch them.
Yeah. And I actually have no, maybe I didn't put it next. Yes, I have. Right next to me. I sold this on the weekend actually.
Oh, Bulmer.
Yeah. So those manga books I picked up a while ago, this was in that lot. And look, I got $70 for it. And but again, I like same thing. I'm glad it's gone. I won't get any more, but it is good because it still has all its original packaging inside. So
that's right.
That's an issue.
I think I'm trying to move to things that, like a lot of other people say, if they can fit in a padded bag or in a satchel and they won't break, that's what I'm focusing on. Something that I can just, quickly slap together, put a label in, and off it goes.
Absolutely. Yep. And the same thing. I've got my postage room all set up with all my different, supplies of satchels, and I have the padded mailers. And then for clothing, I just have the vinyl satchels. And I pretty much, if they're not going to fit in that, then they're not going to get sold.
That's right. Because I normally sell my clothes. I do manage to pick up a fair few jeans and those different things in the area. I normally just put them in a padded envelope just to give that little bit of extra. Because I've had a few times that I don't know if it's the sorting machines or something else that they had the vinyl, those plastic satchels rip open. So I don't want them. Give that a little bit extra.
Yeah. See, I only buy them in the small size, so it's really just for your smaller shirts and stuff. And anything else, they go in the padded mailers because the majority of clothing probably does fit in the small, like tops and stuff like that. Expensive jeans, I'm going to put them in a padded mailer anyway because, you don't want them coming. You want, my theory is I want the customer to get it how I would like it sent to me.
Yeah.
So that's that's what I base my. I probably overpackage stuff all the time, but
Hmm.
you know,
And I'm the same. Like, it's the expectation, right? So basically, you want it to arrive in safe, and want them to come back. If they come back,
yeah,
if someone
yeah,
just, I tend to fold the shirts or fold the jeans neatly before I put them in the packaging.
yes.
Yeah, other people I've seen at the post office, they've rocked up with this ball that's been held together with sticky tape.
Oh,
And
I know. Yeah,
apparently,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
no,
So,
I'm a bit finicky, and it does take me a little bit longer probably to do my mail because
mm,
of that. But it's like putting the labels on. I can't. My OCDs won't let me put them on crooked. I've got to put them on straight, But
yeah.
it's all about putting a thank you note in there and giving the customer a good experience at the other end. Like
So do
and
you obviously do thank you notes?
I do. Yep, I make my own. I just do them on a plain recycled brown card,
Mm-hmm.
and they have my store QR code on there, and just says very simple. Just basically, I hope opening this package makes you as happy as you buying that item in my store made me. Type thing.
Mm.
I hand sign them all because I think that's a nice little touch too. And I get a lot of feedback about that they appreciate the handwritten note. So, it's
Mm.
just worth that little extra touch. And I'm actually starting to notice now, probably in the last 2 months, the return customers are coming back. And that's sort of showing me that those sort of things, I'm obviously doing those things right.
Yeah, because you kind of get a couple of different varying points of those. A lot of people just think that they're just trash and they throw them in the bin, but a lot of other sellers, think they swear by it. So I'm kind of half and half. Sometimes I put a thank you card in saying, "Hey, look, if you want to support my world domination aspirations, keep buying or else."
Perhaps you
Or
need to
other
change
times,
the wording.
no. You don't give these people an option. They're either on the bus or they're underwater.
Yeah.
But
I probably more so for me though with the books though, they're quite handy because they can use them as bookmark.
yeah, that's right.
So I always
Yeah,
put them in the first page of the book, and
yeah,
they can use them as a
yeah.
bookmark then.
Yeah, just leave your mobile number off there. It's a bit creepy.
Hey, what's that?
Leave your mobile number off there. It's a bit creepy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't put that on
Yeah,
there.
no. So, like, I've seen that you're running your own mentorship program as well. You're reaching the skies. You should just make your own business. What do they call the courses that the resellers all seem to run?
Oh yeah. Well, perhaps I could. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
dime a dozen. The US market by looks. Yeah,
Well, the trouble is, I started doing the YouTube thing just for a bit of fun for myself, and pretty much so I could show my journey on eBay, as a bit of fun. And it was more for myself and family and friends to give them a good laugh. And it sort of took off a little bit, and then, as we know, I think attributed to you, probably the grumpy granny, type persona. And then I thought, well, I'm going to take that and run with it. And it's just like, yeah, it's
I
growing
think
since then.
grumpy granny rolls off the tongue better than narcissistic nana.
Yeah, probably does.
That's
Probably
right.
does.
Yeah, well, I did see your video about that poor man that sold you some car parts the other day, and you went and ripped his throats out.
Yep. He was. Yeah. That was bad.
And that was something I was going to talk to you about as well. Is that what I normally do, and you may do it yourself, is I actually use a separate account to buy stuff for that exact reason. So what I normally do is I normally have like a completely unrelated account called Not the Disgruntled Octopus. That's my account. Don't look it up. So basically, if you buy through that, there's no backlash because, like I said, with this DVD, I stupidly bought it through my Octopus account. It's the same thing. The exact same situation you're in. If I leave negative feedback, there's nothing to stop this person or a sister account of them buying something and just doing vengeance feedback.
Yeah. Look, I was blown away. I mean, I didn't care about the loss of the DVD. Like, it was $5 DVD, but I was a bit incredulous that someone would go to those lengths just to to try and bribe me into changing the feedback, or give me that payback. But anyway, I won in the end. Yay!
Yeah, no, I was upset that my feedback got removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, car parts. I don't even know what a car is, let alone sell car parts. But
So you wouldn't be able to fix your own car door actuator?
no. That's a mechanic's issue, not mine.
No. I did it myself.
Yeah, well, you live out in the middle of bumfudge Idaho, so you need all of those things, especially if
Well,
you
you
get bitten
do.
by a snake.
Yeah, well, I grew up on a farm, and my dad said always have a go at fixing things yourself first. So that's what I do.
Mm. I'll leave it at
Yep.
that. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, like I said, I think the second account that you've mainly purchased
Good
through.
idea.
So on eBay, I normally purchase packaging supplies and little things like
Yep.
that, just to clean my keep my face my eBay store clean. But yeah, that's something you could probably look at as well, just to create a
Good
second
point.
account.
Because that's probably the only personal thing I've actually bought off eBay. Everything else has been like for the business. Yeah.
Yeah, because and do you use eBay for RA, or you don't like use eBay arbitrage where you buy on eBay and resell on eBay?
I have had a look a couple of times, and a couple of times I've bid on stuff and haven't won. The auctions are a good way to get stuff really, really cheap. And then I thought I had a good one the other day. Someone had a certain signed book, and they had it assigned, but there was no photo of the signature. And one of the things is usually if you've got a signed book, you will show a photo of the signature. And I thought that's a bit strange. So I actually messaged her and the person that was selling it, and then they sent back and said, "Oh, sorry, no, it's not actually signed." So I didn't want the book then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't believe it. Was that in the item specifics, or was it actually in the
Yeah, they had it listed as signed in the item specifics.
Yeah, okay. They've probably just sold similar off a similar listing.
I'd say so.
What happens in there, it actually drags across all the item specifics, and that's what a lot of people, they kind of preach not to, just create your own listings from scratch, because you don't know what you're dragging across with it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's like people, the same thing with the postage policies. They don't realise when they do a sell similar, they're also getting that person's postage policy, and they go into their policies and have a look, and there's all these, hundreds of postage policies, and that's why.
Speaking of which, I need to clear out my postage policies. I've got 38.
Oh, I've got more than that, but yeah, I sort of have a postage policy for everything because I do international. So I have ones for things like for each size, for small, medium, and large, and then there will be a 500 gram version, a 1 kilo version, a 1.5 kilo version, and a 2 kilo version for each one. So I do have a few things because books weigh a lot.
So do you, with your business policies, do you do flat postage, or do you do
I do a flat rate, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how do you find that helps you from an international perspective?
Oh, brilliant from an international perspective. I love nothing more than selling a cheap DVD or a VHS or a book over there. So something I would sell here for maybe $19. By the time they add the postage on, because I'm now on band 4 with AusPost, I'm getting really good discounts. So, sometimes it's $10, $13 discount that I get. So that then it adds on to the profit margin. Whereas if you're doing, say, for something here, I might sell for $20 and it's including free postage, maybe. You got to take the postage out. Well, if it's international, I don't have to take the postage out. They pay extra for the postage, and then I get the extra discount as well.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Because I do calculators for international. So basically, a lot of those Skylanders I was just pointing out earlier, probably 6 out of 10 go international. We had a lot of characters that were only seen to be released in the Australian market, so they're quite good in that respect. So, and like you said, it's the same thing. So we've calculated. I normally reach out to them and say, "Hey, look, this Skylander weighs 80 grams. If you want to buy a couple more, I can still fit it under that 250 gram threshold." So we go from there. So that's not a bad issue. Because a lot of people are against international postage for some reason. So
people are really frightened about it. I mean, look, it bothered me to start with when I first started looking into it. It's confusing, I think. That's the biggest thing, because because there are the two ways of doing it. You've got your calculated, you've got your flat rate. So there's two ways of doing it, number one. And then when you actually start, like if you go to get the information from Australia Post on the rates, it's like a 32-page booklet or a 40-something
Mm.
page booklet, whereas you only need to know about one page.
That's
And
right.
then,
Page 32, if I remember correctly
well,
from
it
your
is
video.
page 32, exactly. And then the same thing with the information on eBay and the policies. Like, people don't realize that they can set that up easily. And everyone's all concerned about doing the, oh, I've got to do the measurements. And it's not, the measurements don't matter. Just worry about the weight.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm going to give everyone a hint. If it's under a kilo, you don't need the cubic weight. So as soon as it goes over, this is domestic. So international, there's no cubic weight at all. So, I normally, if anything's under a kilo, I'll put 20, 20, 20 in the box. Doesn't affect it in the slightest. Once it goes over, I'm trying to transition into the small, medium, large, extra large Australia Post packaging because it just makes it so much easier just to plop it in that and off you go. Because the amount of times I've had to work out cubic weight on boxes and different sizes. If I can just basically get it in one of those boxes and one of those satchels, out the door off it goes. Don't care.
The only thing I use the calculator for domestically now are the vinyl records pretty much. I mean, I will on that figure that I showed you before, but the vinyl records. And essentially I, put a protective cardboard mailer around them, but I still do them as calculated because if I didn't, they would have to go in the large mailer, which is like $16.70 or something.
Right.
Whereas they're still under 500 grams. If I do it, calculated. So
So what I do to get around that is I actually either turn the mailer inside out if it's one of the satchels, or I give it a layer of bubble wrap. A layer of brown paper. So if it's a medium box or if it's in a large box and it weighs 700 grams or weighs 300 grams, I'll give it a layer of brown paper so that it takes away that Australia Post packaging. And off it goes at the appropriate kilo or the appropriate 500 grams. So makes it cheaper from that perspective. So
absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. Well, that's excellent. I think I've had enough of you for today.
Yeah, good. We've been going for nearly an hour,
Oh, really? Jeez, no wonder I'm getting out of breath. This thing's hot. I need to get sink into a tub.
You will. You'll be dehydrated.
I feel like I got emphysema. Is that what it's called?
Look, I can see. Oh, hang on. I'll point the right way. You're shriveling up. Look, I can see.
Can't take it around. Well, I think we'll have to do a part 2 one day.
So what is your favourite drink?
Oh, I don't know if I've got one, to tell you the truth. Probably seawater.
Okay.
What about you? What's your favourite drink? You look like you've been, you're a hard drinker.
Oh, I like the odd shot of bourbon.
No.
Yeah, bourbon and whiskey.
Yuck. More of a Scotch person myself.
Yeah, I don't mind a Scotch, but I'm probably nice or a spiced rum. I like a spiced rum. I'm a bit spicy.
I was about to say I know some good pirates that make spiced rum.
Yeah, well, you see, it goes back to my old days because in one of my previous reincarnations, I was actually a DVD pirate.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't put you past you.
Yeah, that kept me going for many years.
No, really? Yeah, that's good. And my uncle makes a mean spiced rum as well, Kraken.
Oh, right. Yes.
So, reach out if you need some.
It's not bad. It's actually not bad, actually, the old Kraken.
You don't want to know how he makes it, but it tastes all right. That's all that matters.
Is it a bit like the way Heinz makes tomato sauce?
Pretty much, yeah.
I had an uncle who worked for Heinz, and he told me what the vats look like.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Well, no, thank you for coming on. I didn't think it would be enjoyable as it was. I won't tell anyone that, but
we won't tell anyone that. Don't tell anyone.
I'm about to say the 3 people that watch this, they'll know the secret.
They will. Yes.
That's good. But anyway, so thank you very much for Leanne. So I'll put in the description your details. So make sure you reach out to Leanne, subscribe and like and comment whatever she does on her tubes. And we'll leave it at that, I think.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Cool.
Lots
any
of fun.
parting tributes that you'd like to make?
Look, you've been a big help to me, and we won't let on to the public. We'll just between you and me.
Be careful what you say, so I'll have to cut you off if you're too nice.
Because you have helped me out big time, and with those manga books in particular, you were very, very helpful with those. So
fake news.
There's a bit of kindness under all that slimy, slithery orange stuff.
Must have caught me off on a bad day, like octopus COVID or something.
Yeah,
Possibly.
maybe it was. Yeah. Well, it was about that time. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Could have been.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, thanks again for popping on,
My
and
pleasure.
I'll no doubt we'll catch you in the future in one of Mr. Furlong's barrage chats,
Yes.
and we'll start going at each other's throats like we normally do.
Yes. Well, no doubt we will. Yes. We'll be back
Yes.
to
All
normal.
right. Pull my tentacle out, make sure it all fits. All right. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment if you liked it.